Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
My God, oh my God, it's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it! Oh my God, we did it.
I don't know about you, but ever since the Superman trailer dropped, I cannot stop thinking about it. We haven't gotten a real Superman standalone movie since Man of Steel, and let's just say that it didn't leave the best taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Plantain soup.
Superman is also the kickstart to the new DC universe after a decade of inconsistent films, poor planning, and disastrous production. And there's no better time to reboot than now since Marvel has been on a steady decline in quality since Endgame.
What the hell is even that?
The average comic book movie fan has, more often than not, been left with a plate full of mid for the last 5 years or so. Having a fresh start can make it easier for DC to pull fans back into movie theaters since they get to begin with a completely new story. However, seeing the new DCU release goals for the next 6 years worries me. They plan on releasing 7 projects a year, 2 live-action films, 1 animated film, 2 live-action shows, and 2 animated shows. This seems like an ambitious goal, especially considering we haven't even seen a DCU film yet. This leads into the fact that Superman now has even more pressure to be a really good film. If people don't like this movie, I don't know if they'll be looking forward to 7 new DCU projects a year. People also forget that the DCU technically released its first project already with Creature Commandos, and while I like the show, it didn't seem to reach the average comic book movie fan. Now, I don't think every DCU project has to have incredible reviews and box office numbers in order for the DCU to succeed, but if you want people to buy into this universe as much as people bought into Marvel when they saw the first Avengers film, you're going to have to make some good stuff at the start. That was one of the major issues with the previous DC universe. They rushed into a big team-up movie before we could even really care about the characters. My main concern with 7 projects a year is that it will prioritize quantity over quality. I would much prefer seeing a story plan rather than a plan to release X amount of projects. We've already seen Marvel make the same mistake, and it'll be a huge risk to bank on fans being super invested in the DCU this early on in its development. But if I'm being honest, it would be a pretty safe bet to guess that Superman is going to be a good film at the minimum, and I'm sure it'll leave fans wanting more from this universe. James Gunn has a track record of making some of the most stylish, entertaining, and emotional superhero films in the comic book movie industry. So if you had to put pressure on a film to succeed, I think it would have to be on James Gunn's Superman. I just hope that DC learns from the MCU's 4th phase. They saturate the market with a bunch of mediocre projects, and now people don't see Marvel films the same way they saw them before Endgame. If you want to keep a good reputation and keep your fans engaged, you have to put genuine thought and care into what you release.
You're flailing. You're weak.
I guess I'll just have to wait and see what 7 projects a year looks like for the DCU to fully judge. They may realize, actually this isn't reasonable, let's do 4 to 5 projects a year. I just don't want them to start releasing garbage just for the sake of releasing it like they did for so many years previous. If we end up getting 2 really good movies a year and a few middling shows and other stuff, I wouldn't be too upset. The MCU has shown that you don't have to be perfect to get people seated in the theater, but at the very least, you have to hook the audience and get them to care about these characters. If you ask the average Joe who Superman is, who Wonder Woman is, and who Batman is, they'll know. But let me tell you, there has been some serious damage done to characters like Green Lantern that need to be seen on the big screen in an actually interesting way. I'm begging and praying that the Lantern show is good, like you don't understand. Also, if they're going to do TV shows, they better be multiple seasons and not one and done like some of the Marvel shows. I hate having to watch 8 episodes of a mid TV show just so I can understand the mid movie that it leads into. The advantage that DC has by starting fresh is that new fans don't need to watch 50 different projects to understand these new movies. The audience isn't expected to do any homework, and I don't think people realize just how much that matters to the average viewer's experience. A young and fun DCU will also hopefully get Marvel back on its game and make these movies cool again. But at the very least, I hope Superman delivers in a big way. I need it to. Badly.
Don't stop and look stupid like some thick cow.